March 3rd, 2020.
Populated area. We now have a confirmed tornado.
It's in Davidson County.
And East Nashville was one of the hardest hit communities.
West side of Nashville right now. It's going down.
Now out of Nashville, Tennessee, after two devastating tornadoes touched down overnight, several local news outlets.
March 3rd, 2020. I woke up early in the morning, earlier than I normally would be, because I heard my phone buzzing, which was unusual, and I heard it multiple times, which alarmed me because it meant somebody was trying to reach me. I finally looked at it and I had a text message, and saw I had missed several text messages, and it was from Aaron, and it was a forward from a friend of ours who is a firefighter. And it was a blurry photo that just said, "It's gone."
The next thing I know, I'm waking up and my nephew and my niece were calling because my nephew worked on the same road that Techno-Aide did, where Techno-Aide was, and he worked night shift, and he was calling to tell us that the building was not there, like it had collapsed.
Tornado sirens were going off, so that woke me up, and then shortly after that woke me up, I then got a text from one of my good buddies who is a captain in Metro Fire, and he just simply sent me a grainy picture with what I then would find out was my building, and all it said was, "It's gone."
I remember going over the railroad tracks, and the moment we crested the railroad tracks, it was complete devastation. It's something that lives with me forever, because I thought that everything was gonna be okay.
First thing we saw when you pulled in, the roof had been lifted off, the walls, which were all poured cinder block, caved in, and then the roof got kind of thrown back down on top of what used to be the walls. So the only thing that was actually being held up was the roof system, and it was held up by all the warehouse racking. It was very obvious the building was a total loss.
The big question, of course, is, are we going to keep going? Is our business going to press on? And if so, how do we do that? And so that becomes the overarching thought. The prevailing question for us is entirely about, what is the future of this company? Like, this building is gone. I don't know where we're gonna go. We're not gonna be here, it doesn't seem like. So what's next for us?
Old Techno-Aide, or the original Techno-Aide before the tornado, I loved it. It was all I ever really knew. And all the people, the building, I didn't even realize how old that building was because it's all I ever really knew.
Yeah, I lovingly called the old facility Grandpa's Garage because it had not had anything thrown away probably for 20 years, meaning like obsolete inventory, just old equipment that hadn't been used, all sorts of things. Obviously, trash was thrown away. It wasn't a trashy place. It just had a lot of antiquated technology that either hadn't been used in years or couldn't be used. So it just looked like when you walk downstairs to your granddad's garage and he's got his old tools from 1943 and still has them even though they're all broken. That was Techno-Aide.
For me, that Techno-Aide on Centennial Boulevard has always been home. You know, I haven't really worked anywhere else. I've been at Techno-Aide for 23 years, so I didn't know any different. You know, to me, that was home. That was comfortable, you know.
Prior to the tornado, I had been at Techno-Aide just a couple years. We were a company that was very much in transition at that point. 40-plus-year-old company that had not changed a lot in many years. And we were in the process of just beginning to try to turn some things over in the way we approached the market, in the way we thought about ourselves and our place in the market, our place in the industry. Lots of processes were needing to get changed. We had certainly our own internal sort of culture change that was beginning to take place that we were really trying to work on. In many respects, we were already kind of blowing up the company because it needed a lot of change. The tornado came along and finished it off and completely forced our hand just to go ahead and go all in on that.
Rebuilding was a very interesting endeavor. We signed on with the building we're in now. It was a cold dark shell. It had been completely gutted. There were no offices. There was no electrical ran to the building.
Rebuilding was a combination of finding a new location, getting new equipment, but fundamentally restarting the entire company. I've often said that we did a decade's worth of upgrades in a year because we had to as a result of the tornado. And that's true. What also had to happen though is we had to fundamentally rethink the way we're going to approach our business. How do we use all of this new equipment? What does this mean for culture, for people, for our processes?
When we have different services that we can offer now, that we would have never even probably went down that road if the tornado didn't happen. I mean, our paint service, our powder coating system, just all of the things that we can now do, it's just amazing.
We're in an amazing facility now. You know, we're proud of this facility. You know, we like to bring people in for tours. We didn't lose Techno-Aide, we just rebuilt it. We made it better.
In my view, the tornado was the most obvious and distinct reset button that we have ever had. The day of the tornado, I remember thinking, this could be the single greatest opportunity we've ever had. Which is a weird thing to think about when you've seen the pictures and you hear about the destruction and the devastation. But there's always opportunity in chaos. And what we didn't know at the time was how big of an opportunity this was going to ultimately be for us to just reset the company.
Future of Techno-Aide is one of gaining market share, also growing our brand awareness. We've been around for a long time. We're well known with some people, some hospital systems, but we want to be known with everyone, and we want to be known for being trustworthy and transparent with everyone we do business with. We want to be someone that they can lean on for product knowledge, someone they can lean on for how to best position their patients using what we offer. We want to help them do their jobs well and to know that they're protected from harmful radiation at all times.